will call the common council meeting to order of January 7th, 2025. Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Here.
Alderman Lorik is excused. Alderman Ritz.
Here.
Alderwoman Marshall is excused. Alderman Gale.
Here.
Guzekowski.
Here.
Great. I'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Michael, if you could take us.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you. Just a point of housekeeping for tonight. I will maintain my right to vote on behalf of the residents of the 5th District on all items on this agenda. With that, approval of the minutes of December 17th, 2024. Take a peek there and see if you have any notations or corrections, additions, deletions. Otherwise, we'll take a motion.
Kirkowski make a motion to approve the minutes of December 17, 2024.
Ritzel, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Moving on then, recognition, item number 4 is a resolution of commendation to Michael J. Havey, retiring Assistant Fire Chief of Administration. Catherine?
Resolution of commendation to Michael J. Havey. Whereas Michael J. Havey was appointed a firefighter on August 12, 1996, promoted to lieutenant on May 20th, 2009, promoted to battalion chief on May 18th, 2015, and promoted to assistant chief on July 12, 2016. And whereas Michael J. Havey retired from his position as Assistant Chief of Administration effective January 3rd, 2025, after 28 years and 4 months of dedicated full-time service to the City of Oak Creek Fire Department. And whereas during his years of service, Michael J. Havey has performed his duties admirably, providing for the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Oak Creek. And whereas Michael J. Havey responded to many major alarms, utilizing his skills in firefighting, rescue, and incident command with dedication and without hesitation. And whereas Michael J. Havey served as a paramedic and has cared for thousands of citizens who were sick or injured, always delivering caring and skilled emergency care to them. And whereas Michael J. Havey managed the department's fire prevention program, always striving to create a safe environment for our citizens, visitors, and employees through the administration of codes and standards. Whereas Michael J. Havey managed the department's health and safety program and ensured that the physical and mental wellness of the department's members was always in the forefront. And whereas Michael J. Havey managed the department's public education and fire investigation programs and ensured that these programs provided for a safer community. And whereas Michael J. Havey exhibited a constant motivation for the department to provide high-quality services, always striving to continuously improve operations. And now therefore be it resolved that the city's best wishes for good health and happiness be extended to Michael J. Havey and his family in his retirement years. Be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the minutes of this meeting and that the city clerk is hereby directed to transmit a suitable copy thereof to Michael J. Havey, passed and adopted the 7th day of January 2025.
Thank you, Catherine. Mike, I see you standing there. I imagine you have some comments.
Absolutely. Mike Kresick, Fire Chief. You know, those resolutions really skim over the contributions that our members make to the community. So I just want to say a couple of words about Mike on his retirement as Assistant Chief from the Oak Creek Fire Department. 28 years, served as a firefighter, paramedic, lieutenant, battalion chief, and assistant chief. Covered most ranks within our organization. Multiple programs that he was involved in. He led our EMS bureau, he led our training bureau. Most recently, he led our prevention and health and safety programming. I'll get back to those in a second. Those of you that know Mike know how he approached those programs, how he approached those positions within the organization. Calm, level-headed, focused on positive outcomes in our community. The pressure did not get to Mike. He was always focused on doing the best for the community, doing the best for the citizens, doing the best for the department and the city. His most recent assignments as Assistant Chief of Administration in the Prevention Bureau, a bureau that I will say is one of the most difficult bureaus within our organization. He is dealing with outside developers, builders, inspectors. He approached that position beautifully, always with the focus that the most important part of our job is to provide for the safety of the employees of those businesses, the safety of the community, the visitors, and our population. He did an excellent job with that very difficult program. He also led our health and safety program. Mike was a constant advocate for the welfare of our personnel, both their mental well-being and their physical well-being, always working to develop programming to make sure that our members were prepared to continue to provide a service in the community. So just want to say thank you to Mike for his service to the department. Thank you for his service to the community, and wish him and his wife and his family a very happy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any comments from the council? I just wanted to say I really appreciated Michael's dedication and his professionalism in the meetings that he was part of, that I was part of as well. So I appreciate his approach to that part of our business. It's not an easy task, obviously, to represent the department at this level in city government, but we always appreciated his approach to that side of his job. We wish him obviously a healthy and long retirement. So with that, I'll take action on item number 4.
Fritz moves to adopt resolution number 12541-010725, resolution of commendation to Michael J. Havey, retiring Assistant Fire Chief of Administration.
Kirkowski, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Great, moving on then, public hearings, first of 2 tonight. Item 5 then is PUD amendment. We're going to consider a request to review amendments to the existing plan unit development and conditions and restrictions affecting the Oaks at 8100 development located at 2676 West Red Oak Lane, 2637, 2668, 2616, 2617, 2540, and then 2521 West Maple Leaf Lane, and 8126, 8140, 8159, and 8142 South Orchard Way, submitted by David Decker, Decker Properties, Inc. Catherine?
Public hearing number 1 is to review amendments to the existing planned unit development and conditions and restrictions affecting the Oaks at 8100 development located at 2676 West Red Oak Lane, 2637, 2668, 2616, 2617, 2548, and 2521 West Maple Leaf Lane, and 8126, 8140, 8159, and 8142 South Orchard Way, submitted by David Decker, Decker Properties, Inc. Applicant is David Decker, Decker Properties, Inc. Property owner, the Oaks at 8100 LLC. Legal description of the PUD there follows. Date of notice is December 4th, 2024.
Thank you, Catherine. Christie?
Thank you, Mr. President, sorry for the long list of addresses both of you had to read. Christy Lane, Community Development Director. This item before you, this first public hearing, actually items 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the agenda are all affiliated with each other. One can't happen without the other. But I'll first start off with the public hearing for the ordinance to make amendments to the Planned Unit Development District. So this project, Oaks at 8100, is currently under construction. There's only 2 buildings that haven't been completed. What we're proposing this evening is to amend the PUD by amending the conditions and restrictions. It's pretty simple. One number is actually all that we're going to change. But there are 2 parcels, 2 lots that make up this development, and the proposal is to split those 2 parcels into a total of 4, so each one being split. The reason that this request is before you is due to financial reasons from the lender related to a position on the lien changes. The economy has changed since the financing of this project in 2020. So the scope of the project is not changing. Construction continues to progress. It's simply just due to financing purposes. So this is the state of the development today. It's lot 1 of CSM number 9404 and lot 2 split by the road that you see in front of you. And what the proposal is to do is, let me back up here. There's only 2 buildings that haven't been constructed yet. A3, which you can see here, this is where that building is going to go, and A4. Otherwise, the rest are occupied or under construction right now. So the proposal is to split lot 1 into the red and yellow, and then Lot 2 into the green and blue. And what is being proposed is to change this one simple number here in the conditions and restrictions, and that's a side setback for off-street parking. So the front, rear, and side yard setbacks all will be able to be maintained for all of the buildings as it's proposed with these new lot lines. What can't be maintained is a 5-foot setback where the green and the blue proposed lot line would split this one parking lot. Now the ownership, the LLC ownership will remain the same for the 4 future parcels. It's the same ownership for the 2 parcels now. It will remain the same for the 4. So again, this is the proposed request, is to approve a 0 setback, because that lot line, the way it has to be done with the financing, is going to end up splitting this parking lot in half. This parking lot is constructed already. So again, the conditions and restrictions modification would just be to change this number from 5, as the council adopted it 4 years ago, to the number of 0. The Plan Commission recommended approval at their November 12th meeting, and we've received no objections to date.
Anything else, Christie?
That concludes the
All right, thank
public
you.
hearing.
I'll make 3 calls for commentary from the audience. First call. Second call. Sorry, if you want to speak, you have to come to the mic. And address and name, please.
Dave Decker, Decker Properties, 250 North Sunny Slope Road in Brookfield. Just wanted
Okay, glad you can make it in. Appreciate that. All right, third and last call for commentary. Great, with that, we'll close the public hearing, open it up for the common council for questions, concerns, anything else?
As you said, the Plan Commission approved this.
Was anything? The commission was.
Yep.
Chrissy, only one question for me is, how is that recorded in the deed for the lots? If they ever transacted separately, how would that be recorded or handled?
If ownership would
Yeah.
change, the deed, actually the city would never see that if ownership changed. It would be advantageous to the new buyer to get an easement agreement, obviously, but that's ownership change is not something that would come across the city's desk.
It would not need a condition, for the lack of setback. We don't typically would require that on the deed, or is that a buyer's problem?
It ultimately is a buyer's problem if it were to change hands in the future. And hopefully their attorney is requesting an easement access agreement between the parcels.
I would just say, President Gale, it would probably show up on title. I mean, for any buyer, they would do a title search, and then the title commitment would show any encumbrances, and certainly if there's going to be some unanticipated lack of access or anticipated or shown lack of access, I think that would be an issue in terms of the buyer wanting to ensure their transaction. So I concur with Christie, that isn't something that we would necessarily get involved with, that there are pieces that would be advisable at that point in time, but from the city's perspective, that's just beyond.
Okay, cool.
The parking lot already exists, right?
It does. It's already constructed.
All right, that said, I will take, we'll move on then to action on item 6, which is an ordinance 3115, amending the planned unit development and conditions and restrictions affecting the Oaks at 8100 development located at 2676 West Red Oak Lane, 2637, 2668, 2616, 2617, 2548, and 2521 West Maple Leaf Lane, and 8126, 8140, 8159, and 8142 South Orchard Way.
Second.
That was, you gotta make the motion, Jim. I was just reading.
Oh, you're ready
Sorry,
again,
yeah.
okay.
You gotta.
Thanks for the
repeat
practice.
it, Yeah.
Ritz moves to adopt ordinance number 3115, amending the planned unit development PUD and conditions and restrictions affecting the Oaks at 8100 development located at 2676 West Red Oak Lane, 2637, 2668, 2616, 2617, 25248, and 2521 West Maple Leaf Lane, and 8126, 8140, 8159, and 8142 South Orchard Way.
Kirkowski, second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
If we're gonna give you a chance to do it one more time.
Twice more.
You got one job.
Yeah, I think two.
All right, we'll move on. Item number 7 then is consider resolution 542-01075 approving a certified survey map to divide the Oaks at 8100 multifamily development property located at 2676 West Red Oak Lane, 2637, 2668, 2616, 2617, 2548, and 2521 West Maple Leaf Lane, and 8159 South Orchard Way, submitted by Dave Decker Properties. So we'll take action on that.
Okay. Ritz moves to adopt resolution number 12542-010725, approving a certified survey map to divide the Oaks at 8100 multifamily development property located at 2676 West Red Oak Lane in 2637, 2668, 2616, 2617, 2548, 2521 West Maple Leaf Lane, and 8159 South Orchard Way, submitted by David Decker Properties, Inc., tax key number 810-9025-000.
Kirkowski will second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Item number 8, last piece of action on that. Public hearing, consider resolution 12543-010725, approving a certified survey map to divide the Oaks at 8100 multifamily development property located at 8126, 8140, and 8142 South Orchard Way, submitted by David Decker, Decker Properties, Inc.
Ritz will move to adopt resolution number 12543-010725, approving a certified survey map to divide the Oaks at 8100 multifamily development property located at 8126, 8140, 8142 South Orchard Way, submitted by David Decker, Decker Properties, Inc., tax key number 810-9026-000.
Kirkowski will second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Next, public hearing, item number 9, consider a request to rezone the property located at 9260 South 13th Street from RS3 Single Family Residential to M1 Manufacturing District, submitted by Adam Castle, Aldi, Inc. Catherine?
Public hearing number 2 is to consider a request to rezone the property located at 9260 South 13th Street from RS3 Single Family Residential to M1 Manufacturing District, submitted by Adam Castle, Aldi, Inc. Applicant is Adam Castle, Aldi, Inc. Property owner, Aldi, Inc. Legal description there follows. Date of notice, December 4th, 2024.
Do you have that one too?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The item before you is to clean up the zoning of one small parcel in the Aldi Distribution Facility campus, if you will. It's a 1.6 acre parcel. Aldi is going through a certified survey map also, which is item number 11 on the agenda. And as staff was reviewing the certified survey map, kind of came to our attention that there's this standalone one parcel that used to be residential in the 80s. It was purchased by Aldi and it was never rezoned. So it's zoned single family. The rest of the campus is zoned manufacturing. We don't want to do a certified survey map to erase lot lines and then have a split zone parcel ultimately. So this is kind of just cleaning house. Here's the zoning map. You can see the one parcel kind of in this yellow tone is the single family zoned parcel, but owned by Aldi, and it's a vacant parcel. And then the rest of the Aldi campus is the purple color, zone manufacturing. It is consistent with the comprehensive land use map. It is identified as a future manufacturing parcel, so the rezone does meet the comprehensive land use map that's identified in the city's comp plan. The Plan Commission recommended approval at their November 12th meeting, and we've received no objections to date. And that concludes the public hearing presentation.
Great, thank you, Christine. I'll make 3 calls for public commentary from the audience. First call. Anybody with questions or comments? Second call? Third call? Great. With that, I'll close the public hearing then and open up for discussion and commentary from the common council. Anything, guys? Who's anything from planning that you wanted to mention?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, all right. Just kind of clean up activity, so.
Yeah.
Great. With that, I will move on to item 10, which is consider an ordinance 3116, rezoning the property at 9260 South 13th Street from RS3 Single Family Residential District to M1 Manufacturing District. Take action on that.
Guzekowski will make a motion to approve ordinance number 3116, rezoning a property at 9260 South 13th Street, RS3, single-family residential, district to M1 manufacturing district.
Ritzel, second.
All in favor? Sorry, not all in favor. Roll call. Different committee. Right?
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Thank you. I am moving on to item 11 then. Let's consider resolution numbered 12544-010725, improving a certified survey map to combine multiple parcels at the Aldi distribution facility located on 9150, 9210, 9260, 9342, and 9440 South 13th Street, submitted by Adam Castle, Aldi Inc. Any other discussion, commentary? Let's take action on that.
Alrighty, Guzekowski makes a motion to approve the certified survey map to combine multiple parcels at the Aldi distribution facility located at 9150, 9210, 9260, and 9342 and 9440 South 13th Street, submitted by Adam Castle, Aldi Inc.
Kirkowski will second.
Great. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Great, thank you all. Moving on to new business then, out of the community development, we have an informational item, discussion regarding a proposal to amend the municipal code to allow beekeeping within all residential districts. Here, Andrew, who's someone going to kick that off?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We have before you Mr. J.R. Witt, a citizen of the city of Oak Creek, and Mr. Witt has, as was described in the package, the Common Council package, is requesting that the Common Council consider, this is a discussion item, no action, that the council consider and further discuss, maybe provide some direction towards staff, a possibility of an ordinance amendment to allow beekeeping in all residential districts of the city. Today it's just zoned in an agriculturally zoned parcels in the city. So with that, I will turn it over, if the council sees fit, to Mr. Witt, who has a short presentation.
I appreciate you being here, Mr. Witt. We've had this been percolating around through the building and staff and electeds for several years now, so we appreciate the report you provided the council. We've all had a chance to take a look at that, so that you can name an address for the record, and then you can kick off whatever you want to present with us.
Right.
Information.
Thank you for having me. I'm J.R. Witt, 1140 East Stonegate Drive. Sorry, I'm super nervous. I'm not a public speaker, so. So you said down goes forward? Okay, all right. So I'm just going to kind of go through what a group of us have got together to present to you guys. So there are pros to beekeeping. There are several reasons why you might want to raise honeybees, including honey as probably the obvious answer. You can also, a single bee can produce a half a teaspoon or 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in their lifetime, which is about 6 weeks. You can also get the beeswax, which is another popular product that comes from the bees. Humans use this beeswax in candle making and cosmetics, and many creams and lipsticks contain beeswax that you can make at home. You can make like your own lip balm and stuff like that. They're also great for pollinating in your gardens. Raising honeybees ensures better pollination of your flowering plants, and they're very diligent workers. There's a reason that they say busy as a bee. Bees are constant workers, and they don't require a constant monitoring. There are some downsides to raising honeybees. They're non-natives. While we manage honeybees for honey and pollination, there is some concern that honeybees are out competing our native bees in the wild, but honeybees, like I said, are non-natives, and wild solitary bees are the super pollinators of our native plants and flowers in the area. Stings can happen with honeybees. However, honeybees only sting when provoked, and learning how to properly manage a hive will lessen those episodes. There's the cost of supplies for it. It can range from a couple $100 to $1,000, depending on exactly what it is that you would want to try to put together. The first year can be your toughest year. One of the on top of learning the ins and outs of beekeeping, you may not get any honey for yourself, and your bees have a lot of work to do during that first season. They must produce the wax and raise young bees and store honey for the winter. And then there's also bee diseases. As you might know, bee populations have been in decline for several years, and disease, pesticides, and parasites are the most common troubles encountered by beekeepers. But sometimes there's just not an explanation of why the hive might be unhealthy. Things to think about. There's more to beekeeping than just putting out a hive and turning on a tap to get the honey. There are regulations that would need to be followed. There's a year-round time commitment. You need to constantly check on them and do upkeep. These bees will need attention, just like a pet. Beekeeping supplies and needs are not cheap, like I said, and may take time to find the ones that work best for you. There are your neighbors. Some neighbors will be afraid because they may not understand bees. This would be a good time to meet your neighbors and help them understand what your intents are and educate them on what bees do and do not do. Swarming, this is a big concern of a lot of people, but at first glance, a swarm can look scary with so many bees visible in one place. However, bees that are swarming are very docile. Swarms only cause problems in most urban beekeeping environments because of the perceived risk to the public. The most common cause of a bee swarm is that the colony just outgrew their hive, and a bee swarm is not dangerous. Bees sting in defense of their life when they are swarming. They are looking for a new home, not defending one they already have. They are focused on moving into their new location and are unlikely to be distracted. Communities around us, this is just, when I started looking into this, Cudahy had just started redoing their bee ordinance, and now they allow bees in the city on private property. Franklin, I've reached out to Franklin a number of times, and I can't get a straight answer from them, whether they allow it or not, or if they just don't worry about it. So I'm not sure what their direct ordinance is. It has been a little while since I've talked to them, though. And South Milwaukee does not currently allow it, but they are working on it right now to change it for people to be able to do it. As I don't know if you saw that, but in the 19 municipalities in Milwaukee County, 9 allow, 9 do not, and 1 has no ordinance. That's the Franklin, because I'm not really sure what it is. On average, for one hive, you would spend around an hour every week or two. So that's about 26 hours a year that you would be working on your hive. You can spend as much time on this hobby as you'd want. Much of your time isn't with the hive, but learning what you should be doing. This is because it can opening your beehive can cause stress on the bees. Once you open one, it takes about a day for them to recover from the interaction. Instead, you spend most of your time learning about this hobby and meeting people and researching beekeeping, taking part in educational courses, and networking with other beekeepers. Beekeeping equipment is available online and in some local stores, mainly Farm and Fleet here in town. Otherwise, there's a bee supply store in Franksville that also carries it, and Amazon really has everything for that as well. The beekeeping community in Southeast Wisconsin is very active and growing. With so many new communities allowing beekeeping, the need for education has grown and is available. The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture provides a great free hive inspection service in the spring and fall. The University of Wisconsin Co-op Extension offers a certified beekeeping course, and Waukesha Beekeeping Association meets monthly and provides workshops, mentoring, networking, a lending library, and other great resources. In the stuff that I gave you, there's also some websites that people can go to. Beekeeping isn't something that most people can just take up in one day and know what they're doing. Education is very important to any new beekeeper, and classes are available all around our area with many current beekeeping experts willing to come to new keepers' homes to help them get started. In fact, somebody else was supposed to come and do this presentation months ago. Unfortunately, they passed, so that's why I'm here today instead. I mean, they passed as in they died. They died. They didn't pass on coming here. They really passed. That sounds bad, sorry. As a community, like I said, we came together to come with the following suggested proposal for your consideration. A maximum of 3 honeybee colonies located on a private residential property and within the city limits. A required permit, and that the resident must provide a simple map of the colony and the dimensions of the surrounding area. Neighbors within a 200-foot closest point of the home to closest point of the neighbor's home would be notified and given an opportunity to voice any concerns. Proof of beekeeping competency is required, and this would be a life experience or classes in training. There would be fees. The initial fee would be comparable to other municipalities with the annual permit renewal fee as well. If you were to plan on keeping bees in the Oak Creek, you will inform your neighbors ahead of time and explain the behavior and benefits of the beekeeping. Beekeeping should utilize best practices. A lot of this information, or a lot of these suggestions, are what we've taken from every other municipality around here. The beekeeping would be located a minimum of 10 feet from the property lines. The hive cannot be placed in the front yard, and the entryway for the hive must be toward the property of the permit holder. And then, like I said, that's really what most of the communities have done around here for those suggestions. And in the packet, I believe, it was all that information. So along this journey, I've met so many people who have kept bees or already have them outside the city. Current city codes make people leave the city to do their hobby or hide it and hope they don't get caught. Allowing bees keeping would have neighbors out connecting with each other. These neighbors will have found a path to communicate and hopefully continue the communication with more than just the bees. I'm standing here today because my neighbor asked me about his bees that he was going to be ticketed for having. I had lived next to him for years, and while we waved in usual small talk, I didn't know much about him or that he even had the beehives. I was amazed at what he did have when he showed me, and then I was shocked to learn that he had to get rid of them. He was using the bees as a way to cope with past military service trauma, much like some people use a dog as support. He did get rid of his hives. When we started this Facebook group for bees in the Oak Creek, the reaction was positive. Many people came forward saying they didn't know it wasn't allowed because their neighbors have them or they have them and just didn't know. I heard so many stories of sharing honey and wax with neighbors and showing little kids the activity in their hives.
Yeah, how many people do you have on your Facebook group?
On the current Facebook, well, there's 2, and I don't know what the number currently stands at right now. There's 2 because we had one going for bees and one for chickens, and we combined the 2 together because we started working on it, and then we met with Andrew, the mayor, and Lisa a while ago, and the former alderman, Rich, was working on this with us as well. There's at least a couple hundred on there. Like I said, I don't remember the exact number. We just wanted to get the point across that when coming up with this proposal, everyone involved understands the cost and time and education required to do this, and feel strongly that Oak Creek should be and could be the ideal place, not only to allow keeping, but to show the other communities how to do it right. And like I said, I've been a resident since 2017, and one thing I hear a lot is that we have to be better than Franklin. And well, if you allow people to keep bees in Oak Creek, and it's just one of those ways that we would be and could be better than Franklin. That's what I have for you guys tonight.
Appreciate that. Any questions for JR as long as he's standing there? Steve?
Yeah. First off, I don't agree with the attitude. We have to be better than Franklin. We're Oak Creek. We have to deal with Oak Creek.
Okay.
Let Franklin do what they want. How do you justify or calm the concerns of a resident, and this would be me, having a child who's allergic to bees our property lots aren't that big. And in sometime during the summer when we attempt to sit outside and have dinner and such, we have those little yellow bees come around, and he's the first one inside the house because he's deathly afraid of them. I mean, we even had our first beagle he decided to eat a couple of bees, and his face all nice and swelled up big time. But I would have a problem with my neighbor right behind me having beehives, because I would almost demand that their beehives be in the center of their backyard, as far away from our property line as possible, but they have a pool, so that wouldn't work for them. So how do you calm the fears of a resident who has a child who is deathly afraid, no matter all the positive things that you've put forth here to spice it up and say it's a good thing? You got that one problem. No matter, bees are going to go wherever they want to go, and of course, I'm not a bee expert, but I don't. You put forth the best foot forward, all the good positives, but I'm sitting outside with something sweet, and they decide to come over and partake in our dinner.
No, I agree with you. I have a child myself, and if there was something that would be a harm to her, I would be worried about it as well. But I mean, there are bees all over the place already, so unfortunately, like, there's no way to put up a barrier on a yard to make them not go into a yard. So I mean, while there is the fear of a child getting stung who's allergic to them or just scared of them, I mean, it's going to happen. Bees are going to come in your yard one way or another.
You're right, but I'm not going to have a neighbor who's going to have beehives, and they will, excuse me, they will congregate to those beehives, and then they will go out and do their business because they're constantly working. And
I kind of look at it as like we allow other pets in the neighborhood, in the city. Like, we allow cats to be around, and people are allergic to cats and they can roam around. So I like to stop one person from being able to have bees.
Well, we have an ordinance against dogs and cats wandering the neighborhood, and we hold the property owners responsible if they go out and do something.
Right. That's why
I have a dog. It's a fenced-in yard. He doesn't go out unless I'm with him. But yeah, we have bees all over the place. But am I going to have to get the EpiPen? Am I going to have to? If the neighbor comes and says, I want to have a beehive, I'll be the first one to say, no, you're not. I'm going to oppose it. I mean, why can't we agree and say, yeah, if you have a quarter-acre lot property, that might be far enough away from most people, but to me, most subdivisions, the lots aren't that big, and quite frankly, I sure as hell don't want beehives in my backyard, anywhere near, whether they're there throughout the year or they're being kept by the neighbor.
I mean, I think it just comes down to educating your neighbors on how bees are docile and they're not going to attack unless they're provoked. So, I mean, it's going to come down to each individual and how they feel about it. I don't know if there's a way to convince a person.
Tell that to my son who's been stung by a bee, and we've had to take medical attention to him, and all he was doing is just sitting there. He wasn't being aggressive to anything. So, right.
Well, one of the things.
I'm done because it's becoming more argumentative than anything. So
no, I
go
get
ahead.
it. Yeah,
No, but my question, I have a number of questions, but one of them related to that is, you mentioned 200 feet as far as a distance. What was that relation?
That was, we had suggested that any of your neighbors who are within 200 feet of your property would be who you would inform that you were.
Oh, you're absolutely informed.
Yeah, that you were going to have honeybees on your property.
And do you know if any of the other cities have lot size restrictions on what you can do with a hive and not do with a hive? For instance, if you only have a quarter-acre lot, you can't do it?
And around here, I don't remember seeing that in any of the restrictions. It wasn't something that we were really looking at as a something to add into it. So I don't believe the most recent ones I've looked at were Milwaukee and Cudahy, and I don't believe they had them. but it would be something we could look into. I'm not 100% sure at this time.
No, I noticed on your presentation, you had a picture of somebody's backyard, and then behind their yard was some woods. Seemed like a very logical place to have a beehive. For instance, I live on Parkside, right next door to you guys, and we have the parkway behind us. So I could imagine people, especially ones that have bigger lots, being able to put a beehive back there, and it probably wouldn't bother anybody, and they're going to collect stuff along the parkway. The bees are going to collect.
Most people who keep bees don't put them off out of their way. Like, they keep them so that it's something that they can tend to and be more
No,
in
it's
their
just
area.
at the end of their lot line. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
saying-
and that was, we also did, I think in there we stated that it would have to be at least 10 feet away from the property line so that it wasn't just on your neighbor's property line as well. Or right butting up to it, I mean.
Let me jump in real quick.
Sure.
Forgot what I was going to say now. It'll come to me.
Well, another one was number of hives allowed. So, again, is that a restriction based on the size of your lot?
We had suggested 3, but again, something that we could look at. It's each city around us has different amounts that they allow. Again, can look into. I don't remember seeing anything based on a lot size.
Have something to add to that, Christie?
JR,
I can add a little bit to that. Our agricultural use standards are 1 hive per acre, because we do allow this. We do allow this in agricultural zoning.
Oh, it is.
1 hive per acre.
Right, and I've seen typically going through the ordinances that JR provided us several months ago. Usually, it's up to 3 or up to 4 would be the max. But I don't think I've seen it in a residential zone something over 4, if it says anything about the number of hives.
I did remember. I was going to talk about all the other ordinances that have, cities that have them. Has somebody in Oak Creek looked at all those ordinances from all the other cities and kind of gotten a general idea versus, they allow them or not?
No, in all honesty, I haven't had time to dig deep into this yet. I guess I would want to wait for direction, and of course, we'll do the proper research if the council directs staff to look into this deeper.
Personally, I don't think it's not your proposal for beehives. I think if, sir, I think JR, is it?
Yeah.
It might be nice if you got the ordinances from all these cities, made copies for everybody so that we can have an idea as to what if we choose to do that.
I don't want to
reading.
read 19 words.
Well, you don't have to,
No,
but
there's only 9.
I don't want to take the word of a list here that says, oh yeah, let's see, Milwaukee allows it. Okay, fine. What does their ordinance say?
I think it's I think the Milwaukee one is in your in your
I
packet.
see Janesville.
Is it, there was,
So we had, and I can't even recall which year, we had a city management intern go through and provide a very cursory overview of urban apiculture.
I don't remember what they called it.
Yeah. Some of that text is in there. I don't recall if he summarized the ordinances, but he did look at all of those ordinances, and there's some assessment of that. I don't know if he summarized in a chart format what some of the parameters were, but I can double check that. But again, we're talking 2019, 2018.
So there, urban, I can't say it, jeez. If you look in there, that's the report that Andrew's talking about is in that packet for you guys as well. It was done, that was done when we started this with Rich Ducheniak, I can't exactly remember when we started that with him.
Well, Jim's been in office 2 years, so Rich is already retired for a while. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started this, it was right before, I think.
Pre-COVID?
No, it wasn't pre-COVID. Maybe, I don't, honestly, it's been so long back and forth with talking to people and stuff like that,
It's been circulating around here for years. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim, I'll just jump in here for 1 second. As long as the topic is up there. JR, in this sort of sample proposal, you say 3 honeybee colonies. A colony typically resides in a stack of boxes or one?
Yeah, that hive, the stack of
So
boxes.
and you just keep on growing that as long as you got new bees or bigger?
I
more
mean, you
bees?
can, you don't want to go too big because it'll cause
So
harm.
essentially,
to-
yours would be, you'd have 3 stacks of boxes.
Correct.
And Andrew, you said our ordinance currently is one colony per acre? A box, a stack of box? I think they're,
And it's, all of these things, when we were talking about it, we were completely open to, these were just, we went kind of with what the comparables were to
yeah,
all the
we
other
understand.
municipalities.
We're
Yeah,
looking for somehow we can see if it makes sense for anybody, so.
for sure.
Jimmy, I think you had more.
You know, the fact that it was within all residential districts was a little disconcerting. It seems kind of broad, but,
Right now, it's only in agricultural lots,
right,
Correct.
which are what, half acre or more? Quarter acre?
egg lots
5 acres?
are five, yes.
Which are few and far between in this city.
Probably just that. Probably planting stuff.
You certainly don't want to be cutting that up. Anyway,
But I think there's a lot of questions.
5 acres minimum.
5 acres, okay.
I mean, there may be some existing non-conforming that are smaller than that, but
And right now, we do business on people complain, then health department visits them, inspection. Do we do anything?
probably health departments. I haven't received any since I've been here.
Yeah.
But I think health department would address it at first.
I know when we were looking at other cities, it does say that most of them had like the health department was listed as the department to go to.
Sure, they're thrilled about that. Yeah, oh, it's code enforcement? Steve?
This may be totally off the wall. I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I am anyways. Since this is to be a hot topic issue that 6 are going to decide for 30-some thousand people.
You get paid for it.
I know. Just tell me I'm off base. What's the possibility of having a non-binding referendum to ask the public how they feel about beehive keeping in the city? I mean, that would give you an idea of what the voting public feel about this.
I
Maybe
think we had a question in our actually recent community survey.
was it what was the? You probably don't remember the results of that, do you? Yeah. Because I talked to just a handful of people, and most of them weren't too thrilled with the idea, but that was just their opinion, and they asked for more information. This was a couple years ago, and I go, well, let's just talk right now, trying to formulate a plan, and I left it at that. But
No.
it's
It's a
it
proposal,
just
we don't have to do anything.
no, and it's just something that a lot of people may have more of an opinion than just yes or no.
JR, do you have a feel? I mean, in this sample thing that I think you probably provided, so probably a consolidation of outside communities. There's this thing about neighbors are given an opportunity to voice concerns. Well, who adjudicates that? Have you heard what happens if a neighbor doesn't want it?
Some communities have it where the neighbor could come to like you guys, I'm not exactly sure how that would work, who they would come to voice a complaint. Others, it's just really they just can come and
So they can
voice a
just
complaint, but it doesn't
Squawk,
really
but then
matter.
Doesn't
Yeah,
really matter.
yeah, yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the informational piece. It's the courtesy. The fact that someone may actually be able to challenge it. Well, how is that dealt with? So that's more administrative stuff. I'm not a big fan of more either let it happen or not. I mean, I don't want to create another bureaucracy. Who's you have any thoughts or any questions?
They've all been asked already. So.
Andrew, looks like you want to add some.
You just took the words out of my mouth about bureaucracy,
Did
so
you
I
now?
appreciate that. Where to begin? So we've really, the staff is very dispassionate about this one way or the other. Chickens, we have an opinion on chickens. We really don't have an opinion on this. We know it's going on now, right? JR pointed it out. There's more of that, and you know, there hasn't been any known issue other than, hey, you shouldn't have those and you did. We haven't heard about some of the public safety issues. You know, clearly 9 municipalities in just our county alone have probably successfully been able to do this. But we really didn't want to be in this loggerheads of the staff not advancing a proposal because we're not sticking work into, you know, some inspection process or whatever the case may be. Unless we get that direction from you. But if public safety is a real or a perceived issue that you don't think you can overcome, no type of regulation or providing a water source or a setback or a size of a lot is going to help that. So if that's what your biggest concern is, funded or not, or founded or not, then we probably shouldn't move forward. If you do, again, we're very dispassionate about this. If you do like to move forward, we would suggest a very simple amendment to, as you suggested, Ken, it's allowed or it isn't allowed, and we will regulate if issues in the future arise. And I know that's not a very good answer, but I think you're not going to see, because of our ordinance change, you're not going to see a critical mass of people all of a sudden want to be beekeepers in their backyard, because that perception is for the general public as well, of, you know, fear or whatever the case may be. So this could work if that's the council's appetite, but we would want to have as little involvement and regulation and bureaucracy to do that, because that costs money. And I think, you know, Max has shared this story. You know, for a little amount of, you know, commercial viability that these bees have it with a very small number of hives, a $50 inspection fee every year, if that's the goal of the individual or the family, you know, that's really just going to irk people anyway. So we know what's going on. We know it's done elsewhere. It's kind of a allow it or don't. We can put some parameters around those lot sizes. Great points. I mean, we have residential lot sizes ranging from 8,000 square feet, 0.1 acre, to 5 acres. So we would have to take a look at that. It couldn't just be that open-ended, but certainly, you know, we're ready to assist the council in whatever direction they provide to us this evening, or maybe you would like to have the full complement of, or a bigger complement of your group. Perhaps you want to kick this around to Plan Commission. But I just want to thank you for coming forward. We do not, astoundingly, have a ton of engagement among our citizenry in the city of Oak Creek. We do take input through surveys, and we survey our business community, and that informs these goals and plans we have, like our strategic plan document. That feedback is taken, but this type of dialogue is pretty rare, so we thought it was worth the opportunity to be educated. Provide the resident the outlet to do so among his representation.
And can I just add to what he was just saying? I think what Andrew was saying is that there's not going to be, every one of your neighbors isn't going to have bees. It's going to be very scarce in the city. I mean, I can't imagine there's going to be that many people who are going to want to take this up. But for the people who do want to take it up, they want to do it the right way and not be worried that one day they're going to get a letter in the mail from whomever saying that they have to get rid of it now, like my neighbor did.
Yeah, you know, go
I,
ahead.
irregardless of my comments earlier, I wouldn't have a problem with somebody drafting an ordinance that would allow it, maybe with some variables, you know, with some multiple choices with regards to some of the critical issues in there, and then letting the council and other departments kind of mull it over and see what they think. And if the plan commission, if it's within their purview, let them take a look at it too. You know, discussion is good, but you know, come forth with something and then let us decide. You can cancel that referendum. I saw the look on Catherine's face, like, oh no. But let us decide and work it out, much like we do other matters in the city. That's it.
You had a word to prepare?
Yeah, last word is, I tend to fall on the side of property owners' rights. You own this property, within certain limitations, you should be able to do what you want on your property. But this one flows over into issues of safety, issues of privacy. Even if it's not a safety issue, just having bees over by can be a nuisance, be a privacy issue. So that's why I'm concerned about, this general, anybody can do it. And again, I look at my subdivision, I can think of probably 50 homes that it's very logical that they could have beehives and not bother anybody. But there's also 50 that are in the center of the subdivision that, a beehive would be sitting next to somebody else's pool on the other side of the lot line. And just lot size and the number of bees allowed and all that, question. So before I would vote on this, I'd have to see more detail and maybe a summation of what the other cities have done.
Gary, do you know, what I know, colonies typically have to coexist with another colony, or one colony can stand on its own?
Excuse me, sorry, one colony can stand on its own.
It isn't like corn where you need two rows. Anything else, Goose? All right.
Thank you all, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Are we giving some direction?
Well, we should give some direction, otherwise it's still
We don't want to just leave it
pointless.
sitting out there.
This has been going on for a long time.
Just what I suggested. Take time, craft an ordinance, multiple choices, and have people mull it over and debate it, discuss it. Plan commission, if they in their jurisdiction, let them take a look at it.
I would lean towards as little administration or none as possible. Jimmy's concerns obviously about community lot sizes. But our current ordinance is very exclusive. Tory? Exclusive. Very few people can actually legally have a beehive. So obviously,
On their property.
on their property.
They can have one, but they
Yeah,
can't.
the Facebook group suggests there's maybe more than that activity in the city, somewhere there's maybe some common ground. But like I said, I don't want to fee, I don't want to have annual inspections.
So certainly we're less concerned about preparing an ordinance that the staff would be comfortable bringing forward for an up or down vote than we are regulating this to the gills and sending our inspector out every year, so we can take the time to, I think, provide a basic piece of legislation that would afford more of this. I can't speak to what that would look like, a basic ordinance.
I think the focus of that really should be where, on the complaint side, what is going to drive action. Right? Otherwise, there may be some exists already in the ordinance. Give us leverage to actually do something about it. I don't want to create a lot of law. I don't know about you guys.
Well, my point is that there's 9 cities out there that have allowed it. So somebody must have the same questions I had.
Yeah.
So in those ordinances in those other 9 cities, somewhere there's answers to the questions that I just had. And some of Steve's concerns.
We're not buying EpiPen.
So, I guess if you're in favor of it, then a little bit more legwork to summarizing what some of those cities, for instance, Racine, did I say Racine? Racine allows it? Yeah.
Sorry, Jerry, we can't talk from the
I'm
audience.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
just closed my computer. Was it on there? Thank you. Sorry.
So
I don't
that's-
have them memorized. right
That's
now.
really interesting. There's gotta be, because some properties in Racine are very close together, and
I mean, the city of Milwaukee allows it, and those are right on top of one another.
also
So
very close. So there's gotta be some mitigating circumstances that they have in their ordinances.
I think a big chunk of it is that it's not a huge population of people who are wanting to do this, so it's not a big deal. And I
Only
think it's
takes one, though.
yeah, exactly.
So, okay, so that's what my recommendation is, we get a little bit more information from the cities that are. I don't know who does that, but
Along the lines, we could probably get information. Provide you enough opaque guidance.
Sure. Yes, it does. Yeah. I mean, I already know how to draft the ordinance, but it's honestly going to come down to policy and what zoning districts you want it to be in, which are affiliated with a lot size.
So that you can designate them, you know which ones they are by how they're residential lots. are
Yeah,
designated.
so like the RS1 has a minimum of 21,000 square feet, whereas the RS4 has 8,000 square feet. So do you want to make it permitted in RS4 with the smaller lot size, or do you want to only allow it in RS1, 2, or 3? You know, that it's literally going to come down to policy, a policy decision by the common council.
All right. Enough? Andrew, you spent enough time? Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
All right then, moving along. Item 13, license committees. Alderman Kirkowski?
Thank you. Trust everybody's had an opportunity to review the items on tonight's common council report. Does anybody have any questions, cares, or concerns? All right, seeing none, Kirkowski will make a motion to approve the various license requests as listed on the January 7, 2025 License Committee report.
Ritzel, second.
Roll call?
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye. Item 14 is vendor summary. Consider motion to approve the December 30th, 2024 vendor summary report in the amount of $691,796.71. Any questions for staff? Otherwise, we'll take a motion.
Ritzel, move to adopt, to approve the December 30th, 2024 vendor summary report in the amount of $691,796.71. Of this total, $650,153.97 will affect fiscal year 2024, with the remaining $41,642.74 affecting the 2025.
Kirkowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Moving along under miscellaneous, item 15, that is, consider a motion to convene in the closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, section 19.85, to discuss the following section, section 19.85, sub 1, sub E, to discuss a possible second amendment to tax incremental district number 13 finance development agreement with F Street OCLV LLC. Make a motion on that?
Ritzel will move to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statutes, Section 19.85, to discuss the following. Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub E, to discuss a possible second amendment to tax incremental district number 13 finance development agreement with F Street OCLV LLC, Lakeshore Commons.
Kirkowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Great. Now convene in the closed session. Take action upon reconvening the open session. We'll consider a motion to reconvene the open session.
Ritzel moved the motion to reconvene into open session.
Kirkowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Great. Take action. Item number 17 is to take action on our closed session Discussion.
Kirkowski will make a motion to direct staff to reimburse F Street OCLV LLC in the amount not to exceed $155,243.55 for construction of speed table safety enhancements requested by the city as part of Phase 1 infrastructure costs with proof shown of costs incurred.
Okay, second?
Guzekowski, a second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Great. Aye. Moving along right away. Okay, that's it.
Here.
We'll wrap it up. We'll take a motion for adjournment.
Fritz, a motion to adjourn.
Guzekowski, a second.
Roll call?
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Fantastic.